Welcome back, guys, to Pro League. We got an ace match here between the Generic Green Wings and Samsung Galaxy Con. Rogue just barely able to squeeze out a game there against Shine. What an epic base trade situation.
Yeah, absolutely. A higher Roach count for Shine, all other advantages, the better upgrades, but still, he found a way. He figured out where the hatchery was. He did a Hail Mary run through there, was able to take it. But a bit of a 4-2 split here. Only Daehyun, our Korean analyst, and Kanata is also considered an analyst, a random Masters player on the Korean server, voting for Trap.
Grandmasters player.
Yeah. Grandmasters, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, that guy's good.
4-2, though. People are saying Deer.
Yep. Deer, I feel like, is just the favorite overall. I feel like Trap still has a lot to prove here. Whereas Deer, he just beat Maru. Seems on his game. I know Trap did prepare for the PvP, but Deer, he's shown decent PvP in the past as well. He definitely can play the matchup quite well. And I think just overall right now, Deer's in a better place and is a stronger player. And that's why I feel like he's the safe choice here.
He certainly has the momentum, Valdez. Now, this is going to be a really interesting map because Vaani Research Station has backdoor bases. We could see oracles. We could see anything. We could see a super long PvP here as well.
Let's get into it. It's Trap versus Deer for the ace match. Up here in the north, in the red, from the Generic Green Wings, he is Trap.
Down the bottom in blue. Once on top of the world, it's Deer. Now, these two players, of course, actually, ironically as it is, are both two ex-STX players, former teammates from a long time ago. Both Protoss. And both very quickly able to transition to the top level of play in StarCraft 2, faster than most. Up with players like, for example, some of the fastest players we also saw who ended up falling off were the Terran player last, the Protoss player flying. And we saw, of course, Roro transition very quickly as well. Some of the fastest to become really good at StarCraft 2 at the top level, become Code S level, play well in the OSL as well. And these two, definitely had a lot of great success faster than some of their ex-Broodwar counterparts.
Yeah, very well said. We do have a very slight probe lead here for Trap. Not sure how that came about, but that is something small to note, especially in a mirror this early on. Regardless of how he was able to do it, maybe Deer messed up, or maybe Trap just did it really well. He was able to get that probe out a little bit earlier. It looks like the gateway even is a bit earlier here for Trap.
Yeah.
As well as the gas. So the build overall is just very slightly ahead for Trap.
Yeah, maybe just didn't quite press E fast enough when the game booted up. And wasn't looking too closely at that. Well, this is, it's important to note. I'm glad you pointed out. But it may end up just being negligible.
Yeah.
Double gas. For both players, 2 in gas for Deer, and the same, of course, up here for Trap.
Okay.
I think Oracle is going to be the go-to build on this map, but Phoenixes, I think, are also good. Blink is not bad. We just haven't seen it yet at the highest level in Korea. All too much just yet, so...
Yeah. It just looks like for now, both players really skimping on the gas here a bit. May see an extra gateway come down for both players. Yep, there we go.
Yep. So expansion-oriented builds for sure. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true, but I think it's the highest likelihood.
Well, given the map, I mean, it's got that backdoor expansion.
This map kind of gives me a feel of, like, if Nimbus got cut in half or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, flip it, make it a little bit closer. You could say that.
What I would love to see on this map, actually, is a lot of late-game Curious-esque ZVPs. This is how the bases are there's so many of them and how they're kind of close together. And and how you could, with a large ball of either Swarm Host, and or of course Tempest type play, that Sky Toss army would be really fun to watch.
This probe getting the most scouting bang for his buck. He was there until literally the last second. Both players going for sentries here, and I think we'll see that Nexus out for both players.
Yeah. As I think is pretty fair to assume, when you see the second gate. We only saw one sentry out of Trap, I believe. Yeah, he only made one. So he's going to get a faster Nexus by literally those 50 minerals. I mean, you talked about earlier that mineral advantage and things like this actually really come into play, and you could just see how much of a difference even one sentry makes in how much faster you can get a Nexus up. But this means a lot more sentry energy on the other side of things. And I think going into Stargate and going into Oracles is just... It gives you the most flexibility out of any build you could really choose on this map, in my opinion.
I like it too. I'm just looking at this right now. I'm really liking Trap's build a little bit better. He gets the Stargate out much faster than the robotics facility of Deer. And, he has that second sentry a little bit later, but he's got that first one for the Hallucination Scout anyway. So he gets the 2 sentries that he's going to eventually want, but he gets out his tech faster because he uses the gas there faster. So
yeah,
I like it a little bit better.
I actually completely agree. I feel like you don't really need 2 sentries necessarily on this map, and usually you've got that small ramp. If it's some sort of crazy DT rush, for example, you've got that sentry early to force it there as well. There's that fast Hallucination Scout, and he is going to be going Phoenixes back at home, so a similar approach to what I was talking about with Oracles. And a fake Oracle. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, but he's going to get the Scout here and be like, okay, you don't actually have a Stargate, so you're just faking me out.
Yeah, it's not like he's going to think it's proxied, because if it were, then why would
it wouldn't
the
be coming
there?
straight out of the main base.
Hides the Phoenixes, but now he's going to see the Phoenix that's being built, so it doesn't matter. And here come those first 2. He might be able to kill a probe or 2. It takes a little bit of time to actually kill probes with only 2 Phoenixes, because only one could fire at a time. And he might chip away at the Mothership core a little bit. If he could force a Nexus cannon to be used, that would be pretty awesome, and that's exactly what he's going to do here.
Yeah, not bad. Gets 2 probes as well, and he's going to get out here. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Takes some health damage on one of those Phoenixes, but it's fine.
During this, he draws the attention away and gets a Scout off into the main base as well. Now he's confirmed 100% it's robotics tech that he's up against.
Bit of a later Oracle coming here out of Trap as well. He's already gained control of the skies. He's forced that Nexus cannon, more importantly, so definitely going to be able to sneak out some damage with that later Oracle. Follows up with the robotics facility tech as well. The one thing I'm worried about here for Trap is that I think his Forge is a bit late. Let me check that. Yeah, he doesn't have a Forge right now, so Forge is much faster here for Deer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the Forge, it's the upgrade itself that he's been getting for quite some time. And
and the Twilight Council and the Templar Archive. So,
the next steps.
Okay, Deer is really getting ahead in tech here.
And Trap also just made a bit of a blunder with his Phoenixes. Ended up losing one of those. Just hurts his harassment potential. And he didn't force a second Nexus cannon, which is what I think he really wanted to do with those Phoenixes, but there's just too many gateway units here, so it's not going to happen. Then the Nexus cannon goes down exactly the way he wants it to against that Oracle. I think the Mothership Core basically has no energy right now, but so what? He doesn't need any energy anymore. In fact, now he could pretty much just split his gateway units and defend both bases and be totally fine. He even has a cannon up. Yeah, liking Deer's position here.
We're probably going to see a big swell of gateways coming in here. If he's making a lot of these High Templars, he's going to be putting a lot of gas into that, and what you can do is just go charge that Archon from here. We do see the transition of Colossi coming in here, the Robotics Bay coming in for Trap. But again, he still doesn't have a Forge. I mean, he's just not getting upgrades.
Ooh, nicely done there. Feedbacks a few of those. He's going to still lose a few probes. His gateway units weren't pre-split, but not a bad choice there to just go ahead and do that, knock that down, grab an Archon. +2 on the way now. He's almost a whole set of upgrades ahead.
Okay, so he does have that Forge. Didn't pop up there on the Structures tab for me on my PC. Do you see the third Nexus coming down here? Bit ahead here for Deer, in fact, and I don't even think that Trap knows just yet. He's definitely going to want to get that scouting done here. Really nice revelation. Now he's going to come in the back, try to get some more damage done to probes. Gets one.
Yeah, just a little pick off. Feedback goes down as well. And Archons do great against Phoenixes just simply because they can't be lifted. They do AoE damage. And they get sit back and defend. Now, we do have a Bay finishing up here. So we can start the Colossus production in just a second here.
There's that scout on the Nexus. He immediately goes out to put down his own. Pretty far behind here. I think the Nexus of Deer is about 2/3 done. So going to be ahead there, even giving away a free Oracle.
I feel like the harassment damage that we're seeing from these Phoenixes is just like, ooh!
Really nice. I think he actually feedbacked all the energy off of all the Phoenixes, so, I mean, he probably couldn't have been lifted there anyway, but that was another
like
Archon.
Some really good aim, basically. It was just knowing which Phoenixes had the energy to zap those down. I feel like the Phoenix harassment it just hasn't been, I don't want to say it hasn't been worth it, it just hasn't been enough to warrant how behind in tech he is and the small advantages that Deer has been able to eke out in this game, especially the upgrade advantage you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, there's the upgrade advantage. There's the economy advantage as well, that their Nexus has come up. He's got more probes. The one thing that Trap does have is the earlier robotics bay tech. So he's going to have a higher number of Colossi for his army. He's also got these random 2 Immortals that he made while he was getting that robotics bay. Those are just 2 strong units that really bolster your composition that can do a lot of damage to the Archons in the front.
Yeah, it gives you like a little bit of a little bit more sieging power to attack a Nexus, for example.
Yeah.
But I think he needs to be really careful with engaging this. The supplies that you guys see at the top right don't really tell the tale. Like, Trap has a big army. And the Archons here are expensive. They do a lot of damage. But those Immortals that you mentioned, I think, are so important, too.
Deer's got to start warping in more stuff. He's making like a ton of gateways, but in fact his gateway army is quite puny. Look at that.
Yep, Phoenixes can come lift
and he's
as well.
Fighting now without his Colossi. This is a really weird fight from Deer. He's trying to warp in here, but that's a ton of charge loss from Trap.
Yep, and now he's actually coming now into his main base. Is looking really bad. And the Phoenixes are actually able to fight these Colossi, keep them at bay. Now he could easily attack the third base for free. Nothing to stop him here. Archon's now coming into the mix. He had an upgrade advantage, Deer did, but that's about to run out here. He doesn't have Thermal Lance. It just finished. And I don't know what else to say, guys.
Look at the minerals and gas right now of Deer. He's like really, really choking here, I have to say. He just did not make units.
He didn't have his gates up, and he was not prepared. His range was late. It's like he just didn't expect this to happen. And he loses the game, and I don't know what else to say. It was just a bit of an anticlimactic ending.
Yeah, really, really strange here. Both Colossi going to go down, and that's an easy win for Trap. He kind of just attacked. Deer was just trying to do too many things at one time. He was getting so many different upgrades. He was like getting 5 gateways at the same time.
Too greedy.
And Trap just had a really nice composition going, and he just killed Deer before Deer was able to get that going. So really, give it up for Trap. He was able to do it. Really nice attack timing there. And GG.
GG.
Jin Air is going to win off the back of Trap.
2 wins for this guy. The guy today, you look at the 4 players they picked who you think is like the least high profile, but he's the one who is able to do it, man.
Somehow, man.
So incredible, incredible play out of Trap today. Deer looking a little bit shaky, just making a bit too many greedy decisions there in that last game. Jin Air wins at the end of the day, and this has got to be a very demoralizing defeat for Samsung, considering they were so close. It's like you're so close, but yet so far. That ZVZ is something that Shine is going to be haunted by for the rest of his career.
And Deer, too, man. Going down to Trap in this ace match, they were so close to winning against Jin Air. That would have been such a big win, but I don't know, man. I really just don't understand this last game. Like, Deer was just super greedy there. I think he just really did not expect an attack. I think he just expected to go very late game. He got his charge very, very late as well. He had that Templar Archives for so long, he never got charged. He didn't have, like, units at all. He was making so many gateways. He was, like, powering up to, like, 12 gateways while he had barely any army. And here comes Trap across the map with, like, 2-3 Colossi, 2 Immortals, and a big gateway army, a huge warp and a Zealots right before he attacks with charge.
Yeah. And just to finish off the discussion about this, it was like the army of Deer was basically like the Archons he made to defend out of the High Templar he feedbacked Phoenixes with. Plus the Phoenixes themselves also could lift and participate in the fight, and then also zone those Colossi which didn't have range out of the fight.
Yeah. Well, here you have it, guys. It's 3-2 for Jin Air Green Wings. Another 3-2 here today. Another ace match. Trap is able to take 2. 1 against Hurricane on merry-go-round and 1 against Deer there in the end. And here you have it, our new stats. Lucero, with his win today, will go up into first place, tied with Innovation and Zest. Yonghwa as well getting another win. He is still undefeated. He is 5-0. This guy kind of like snuck in here and is still undefeated.
I love these triangle indicators we have, by the way. Those are new and
this
awesome.
Is nice.
And, don't forget that basically with this spread that we have here, anyone who has a 4-deck surname with a win would jump up to first as well. This is like the closest winners ranking we've had, I think.
This is unbelievably close. Literally anyone else who plays tomorrow that's on this list can go up there tied for first.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're going to have more Pro League action coming to you guys live here at the Nexon Arena. It's going to be SK Telecom T1, not Samsung's Galaxy Con. They're going to be going up against Prime. Then we're going to have KT Rolster up against CJ Entis. Match number 4.
Match number 4, definitely the one to watch. The first one is going to be a showcase of SK Telecom's skill and some of their players, but I feel like, I don't know if it's going to make for the best games.
We're going to have to see Creator win 2 PvPs if they want to have any chance at all. Creator has to win 2 PvPs. Yeah, I'm just going to say it right now. Like that's it. That's the name of the game. That's how they beat KT Rolster, and I'm sure they could do it again, but things have to line up for Prime in order for them to have a chance. So,
well, guys, it's been a good day today at Pro League. It was one of your typical Mondays, double ace match, really fun games. We'll be back here tomorrow at the same time, 6:30 p.m. Korean Standard Time. And I hope you'll join us then.